Coming up on the podcast, we're looking into the future. Well, kind of. We'll take a look at what's hot on the NAB floor this year. Plus, Connolly's birthday month continues, and the guys talk about interactive whiteboards, and this week's baby got back. And, of course, we can't forget what's in my cup. An all-new Bandwidth Boys podcast starts right now. Let's go.
Bandwidth Boys podcast.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way.
We talk about stuff, tech stuff.
All right. Little Jimmy Cliff to open up the show. Well played. Welcome to another episode of Bandwidth Boys podcast. I am Greg.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Connolly. It was a beautiful day here in the eastern Washington. I got a raccoon tan around my sunglasses going on, so I'm living the dream. Living the dream. I was in my garden.
Garden good.
Garden good.
So, let's get right into it. What's going on, Tech World?
What's going on in tech world?
A new way to check your emails is hitting your wrist. Sorry for yelling. This week, Microsoft announced a dedicated Outlook app for Android Wear. As soon as you download it, you'll be able to respond to emails using preset messages, kind of like Apple does, or you can simply just talk to your watch. This by no means is a game changer in the world of smartwatches, but it is a rare moment when a developer creates an app for Android Wear exclusively.
Disney wants to get in the ballgame, literally, with Major League Baseball. Rico.net says that Disney is deep in talks with MLB to acquire their video streaming system. MLBAM, which is owned by the 30 owners of Major League Baseball, runs the subscription-based service. They also handle large video streaming services as well, like Watch ESPN. Sources say that Disney isn't the only bidder, which means this deal could quickly fall apart.
Johnny IV makes a one-of-a-kind donation. No, really, a one-of-a-kind donation. He donated a special edition iPad to Time for Design's auction. The one-of-a-kind iPad consists of a laser engraved edition 1 of 1. The iPad Pro features a custom yellow gold, what's that word?
Anodized.
Thanks. Chassis and comes with a matching blue smart cover crafted with the French leather. An Apple Pencil, also known as a stylus, with smaller yellow gold is also included, and comes with an orange made from Italian calf leather. The lot's expected to go for about $14,000 to $21,000.
I say we buy that. GoPro is all in when it comes to VR. They have finally pulled off the curtain of their newest product, the Omni VR rig. This rig consists of 6 GoPro cameras tied together to create a 360-degree view. Along with the rig, they have announced their VR channel called GoPro VR, which launches April 18th. Their VR channel The VR channel will be a curated experience. If you're looking to get yourself into the world of VR content creation, you're looking at around $5,000 all in. If you already have enough GoPros to fill out the rig, you can purchase a whole system for about $1,800. The price may seem a little steep, but compared to their competitor's 16-camera Odyssey rig, $15,000, this GoPro system is a steal.
As we alluded to earlier, the U.S. House of Representatives voted to pass the wonderful H.R. 2666, or No Rate Regulation of Broadband Internet Access Act.
666 at the end is a good indicator of that bill.
You felt somewhat ominous. If you remember, the FCC gave itself power to regulate what Internet customers in the U.S. will pay for service by classifying broadband as a utility. This bill recently passed by the House is looking to take back that power. It's drawn criticism from both politicians. Wait, I've lost my entire sheet here. Oh, it's back. There we are. And net neutrality supporters. Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, says there is no authority or need for the federal government to regulate. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Anyway, the initiative blocks that the unelected bureaucrats in Washington from dictating how people use the Internet, is what Paul Ryan went on to say. President Obama has already said he'll veto the bill.
And that's a wrap on What's Going On, Tech World. The politicians.
I know. I would have had to have had it memorized. My screen left like 3 times and came back. It was kind of like using the teleprompter at the studio.
It's kind of like our stream. Greg's back. Greg's back. All right, let's head.
Was I gone for a great deal of that time?
Oh, just that last part. You're good now. Let's head to
Just
the
the last part.
wonderful
Okay.
city of Las Vegas.
Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas!
As some of you know, it is NAB, the National Association of Broadcasters 2016 convention, which brings out all the heavy hitters and even the small hitters in the broadcast world. So it's similar kind of to CES, but CES is more geared towards consumer electronics, as that's what it's called. And NAB is geared more towards the professionals of broadcast and however you want to define broadcast. So kind of what you see at NAB is different than what you see at CES. So what I wanted to do with you two, just really quickly, and then we'll move on. We won't stay too long in the big talk. We'll dive more next week to the different products and the trends at NAB.
Sure.
But just kind of to get a sense from a professional standpoint, so put yourself in your employment seat. And
Pretend you're a professional.
Okay, I didn't want to say that, but pretend you're a professional and you're not a consumer. So when I give these topics, we can kind of talk about it if we want to. But you want tell me if it's gimmicky, not worth the time, or you can't wait to see more. All right. So these are the trends that NAB has set forth this year for 2016. Number 1, 8K. Gimmick, not worth the time, or can't wait to see more. Matt.
Can't wait to see more.
Greg.
I love my resolution.
I guess I have to answer can't wait to see more, because I don't actually believe that any of these resolution changes are gimmicky. I guess I don't. At least I haven't so far. But so I guess I have to say can't wait to see more.
I can guess your answer.
What's my answer?
Gimmick?
No.
Oh.
I don't think it's a gimmick. I just don't think it's worth the time. I think we have
do we have 3 different things we can choose from?
3. Gimmick,
Oh, okay.
time, or can't wait.
Oh,
I think
shoot.
we have
All
to
right. Well, anyway.
I think we have to perfect 4K before we move on to 8K, because God knows we haven't done it either through content creation or through delivery. So why go to the next one? I understand NAB is all about looking at the next thing, but I think 4K is where we should stop. I'm all for 8K in sports because, gosh darn it, it looks good when you go to replay and you can actually see where the ball is and where the foot is. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to watch Gene Anderson, who is now retiring in Seattle, though, in 8K. There's a lot of things I don't want to watch in 8K. I barely want to watch them in HD 1920 by 1080. So I think we just need to put the brakes and rein it back on 8K.
And further develop 4K.
Strange. Yeah.
And take that time to better develop 4K, the high dynamic color range, and really put the time into delivery. I mean, we've done a lot for content creation with cameras and editing platforms and exporting, H.265 and then the new AVX codec. But really, the delivery to home via IP or via cable or over the air, I think that needs to people need to spend a lot more time on, and not go up to a different resolution. Thoughts?
I couldn't agree more.
Boom.
I still want 8K.
You're the only one. All right, next one. Here we go. 6G SDI, 12G SDI, Thunderbolt 2, and optical fiber. Ways of getting footage via data. Greg? Gimmick, not worth the time, can't wait.
I wish I knew more about it. I'm not well versed enough to answer the question. I don't think.
So essentially, these are cables that you use to move data around.
Sure. Yeah, I understand that.
And the different 6G, 12G, that's just how much bandwidth it can handle.
Right. I still don't have an answer. I just haven't read enough about it. I guess whatever.
That's number 4. That's 4.
I'm gonna have to go with whatever this time. Yeah.
I think it's the natural next progression, right? We need something better than what we have now. Once we start getting 8K, right? We're
not going to get to 8K.
Even with 4K.
Even 4.
Right? We need a bigger pipe to do these things.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah. I'm on the can't wait bandwagon just because I'm tired of just BNC cables, really. I'd rather see things being pumped over data and whatnot, and not having to be stuck to 100 feet or however long SDI can do.
Mhm.
I like packets. I like to move packets. So I can't wait to see the next delivery mode of getting video from here to there, not being over SDI cable.
What are some of the other options that are just in process?
Well, the continuing development of optical of fiber, continuing development of Thunderbolt 2, and then just better internet cables,
Mhm.
faster.
On the same current platform?
What do you mean, same current?
The cables, the amount that they can carry. I mean, the current Cat 6 or whatever cat you got.
Oh, right. But I think it's also developing cameras and switchers that could encode and decode to data instead of pushing video around. You're pushing zeros and ones.
Yeah, I don't think bandwidth of the cable is necessarily the issue. I think it's the technology at both ends.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to cut that latency down enough where it's usable, right? Because now, theoretically, you can encode it into data, but by the time it gets decoded, there's such a delay that for a live event, you can't really use it.
So it sounds like we're heading kind of in one direction, though, as far as something that's super new and efficient and all that. That's what I was sort of getting at, is how many, are there different angles that people are going at, or is it really just one direction? It feels like one direction to me.
Yeah,
I think it's one
Yeah, it's
direction.
all one.
Mhm.
Thank goodness. In the world of video, it's great to go towards one direction.
Yeah, I was going to say, with that, I'll say can't wait to see it, because I now know enough to answer the question. Thank you, gentlemen.
That's what we do here, Greg.
That's great.
Drones. Gimmick not worth the time. Can't wait. Greg?
They're already here, so can't wait, I guess.
I don't know what else. See, I don't know. I don't know. What more will a drone do? Like, as far in a professional setting, we already have professional 4K drones. So what more? What is the next step for a professional broadcast drone?
Longer flight time.
Oh,
Being able to stay up there for the whole Masters instead of just 10 minutes at a time.
Yeah, and somehow working out things with the FAA and the FCC to make sure that that we can all coexist.
Yeah.
Still messing around with that a little bit.
But for me, it's not worth the time.
yeah, I'd have to agree because
I think we're I think I'm with Matt. I think we're there on drones. I think there's just a few more tweaks we can make to drones and how they work, but I don't think it's worth the time to do it.
and I feel like we're gonna very quickly hit that area where everything you add becomes a gimmick, right? Because the features you're adding really aren't
It's like
making it.
it's like the iPhone.
No, what?
Next up, VR transmission over IP. Gimmick not worth the time. Can't wait. Matt?
Gimmick.
Okay.
I don't think VR will ever become a standard.
Greg?
Absolutely gimmick. It's 3D. It's just the new 3D.
So I was going to say gimmick coming into the show. And then I watched the one of the GoPro curated things that they have on their website.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, it's pretty cool. It was a surfing one, so you actually got to see them dive underwater. You got to see the wave form over them, and you can move wherever you want to. I get it. It was a lot of work for me to hit the cursor to figure out where the heck I was. And I doubt I'm going to put something on my head, but I think it's pretty cool. For me, it's not worth the time. I don't think it's quite of a gimmick. I think it's kind of cool. I think there's an application to storytelling that really hits the heart of VR, and but for me, it's not worth the time. But I don't think it's quite a gimmick, although I understand why people think it's a gimmick. But I'm just saying, when I saw the VR earlier, I was pretty impressed. So
Would any of you ever pay for a sports package that was VR and that you got to watch it on your headset? You basically had a seat in the stadium and you were looking around and it's like you were there. Would that ever be something that you think would truly elevate your sports watching experience, or would it just be weird because you'd be the one person sitting there by yourself, unless you buy your whole family these headsets, watching this football game?
Wow.
I don't think I'd buy it. I don't think I'd spend the extra money for it because I think Greg brought it up when the NCAA was happening and they had VR. You turn around, there's just a bunch of drunk people behind you. Why would you want to enjoy that experience? So from my standpoint, I love what TV does and the storylines on TV and the close-ups and the replays and whatnot. That I don't think I'd spend the extra money for sports VR.
No, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, I guess I just don't see where VR fits into
I think it's more
mainstream.
I think it's video games. I think is the market they're trying to aim for. I think they're trying to cast a bigger net to try and attract more people. But I think in the end, it's all about video games, and for us, that's not our cup of tea. I don't see it happening in broadcast though.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I guess sports has a sliver of a chance though for them to push that direction. I think, but you're right. I think the application is definitely gaming.
It just seems interesting because I feel like, especially broadcast, it's kind of based around this idea of watching with friends and watching with your family.
Yeah.
Yet VR just squashes that immediately, and everyone's on their own.
Right. Unless, like you said, you buy everyone in your family a VR headset and you sit next to each other.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird because you just take the headset off and you're sitting next to them anyway. So I don't.
Yeah, and like you're talking to them, but you can't see them. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right. 360-degree cameras. Gimmick, not worth the time, can't wait. Greg?
Well, again, that's one that's kind of it's already here. I think I'm going to stick in the middle with not worth the time, just because I feel like I've seen what they can do, and I'm not sure. It's kind of your same argument that you have with the drones. I guess I just feel like they have more the drone in this. They're not pitted against each other, but my thought was, in the drone case, that it kind of had more work to do. I don't know what the 360 cameras have to do.
Yeah.
I don't think 360 cameras will ever I don't think the signal from a 360 camera will ever make it to the viewer. But I think 360 cameras will make it into the broadcast world just for the ability to set up the camera and use it essentially like a movie and be able to set a few up above a field and get multiple shots without having to worry about was the camera panned correctly, was it facing the right way, but just being able to crop in and take the shot you want.
I agree with Greg in the sense of it's not worth the time, but I don't quite agree with you in the sense that it's not going to hit viewers. I think it's not going to hit viewers in the traditional television sense, but I think it's going to hit them in a nice multimedia presentation on an app. Frontline is a really good example. They did a whole documentary on ISIS, and then online they had an extra 5-minute just walk around. They just gave it to a bunch of kids, and the kids just walked around, and you were able to see the landscape that they experienced. And it was just another part of of their app that made it more attractive. But it didn't make it to the normal viewer, if that's where you're going with, but it made it to a viewer, some content thing. So I think in that sense, it's kind of cool. But I'm with Greg. I don't think it's worth the time to develop it. Last one. Here we go. This is more Greg's wheelhouse, so I'll go with Greg first. Super 8.
It's over, really.
Making a comeback thanks to Kodak.
Is it really?
It is. They have that's one of the booths at NAB this year is the Super 8 and what they've done to it. Gimmick not worth the time, can't wait. It's like records, right? There's a very niche market that is very loud, and they want it to happen.
Well, is it film or is it digital?
It's film.
It's actually film.
Like opening and closing of a gate.
Yeah.
When was Super 8 big? Because I don't know.
I would say, if I'm guessing right, it'd be the late 60s and into the 70s. Regular 8 started it earlier than that.
Oh.
Yeah. They went from regular 8 to Super 8, and Super 8 would carry audio, and the other one you had to do it separately.
Oh. Super 8 gimmick, not worth the time, can't wait.
Gimmick for me.
Matt?
Gimmick.
And me too, gimmick as well. But, hey, the loud people of film are going to make it happen. Kodak is going to have a giant comeback, and we're going to sit here 3 years from now and go, wow, we were idiots. Just 3 years from now saying, damn, we were right.
I didn't even know Kodak was still around.
I didn't either, but so. All right, there you go. The floor of Vegas.
Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas!
So we'll do a deep dive next week, talk about lenses, because that's really one of the big things that happens at NAB is Canon releases their new lenses, Sony releases their new cameras, We'll see what Blackmagic does. Blackmagic always does a lot of cool stuff with cheap cameras, right? Pocket cameras that are shooting in 4K for unbelievably cheap prices in the world of broadcast. So Blackmagic always releasing new things, and of course Livestream now coming up to do Control Room in a Box and stream it live online wherever you are. So we'll do a deep dive of NAB next week. But from NAB to this guy.
What's on Matt's mind?
There's not very much on my mind today. More of a PSA announcement for those of you who don't really look online at articles or things. QuickTime for Windows. Well, first of all, Apple stopped supporting that a while ago. Windows 8 and Windows 10 aren't officially supported. But if you do have it currently installed on a Windows machine, you should probably uninstall it, because there are two major vulnerabilities that would allow someone to use QuickTime to take over your computer, and Apple has said they will not patch it because it's no longer supported. I think we all have QuickTime for Windows on our Windows machines.
Yeah, we just can't uninstall it, though, because of the editing platform that we use. That's too
That's
bad.
awkward. I wonder if the editing will figure that out.
Probably not.
On Matt's mind.
All right, it's April 17th. The countdown continues. I only got one more after today of my favorite birthday month gift. So, last week, do you remember what it was?
It wasn't a camera, right?
It was a camera.
It was a
It
camera.
was C100, the
Yep.
Canon C100. Runs about $6,500 for the body, and then the lens is whatever you want it to be.
If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. All right, so this week, should I give what I have that everyone should own, or should I give what I think would be a kick-butt gift for someone with a birthday in the month of April?
Start with what you have.
All right, so what I have, a couple weeks ago, it was the Apple TV. Last week, it was, what was last week?
Was it your phone?
Oh, yeah, it was my Samsung. This week, I'm going to stick to the world of S's, and I'm going to continue and say that you should get yourself a Sonos audio system. It's wireless. It sounds great. You can easily get radio from it from the TuneIn app. You can easily get music from Pandora, or if you're a Google Music subscriber, everything is built into the platform, all controlled by a smartphone or an iPad or whatever tablet you choose to use. It also has apps or a program for your Mac computer, and also can be run from your PC. So the Sonos system, it's pricey, but it sounds good, and it's very convenient. I don't have to plug in an 1/8" cable into my phone to hear music off of it.
If someone wants to maybe have two speakers in the Sonos family
Two.
and start their setup,
Yeah, what kind of speakers?
whatever what are the
They have
ones?
they have a Play 1, which is one speaker, usually used as a surround sound. They have a Play 3, usually used for smaller rooms like bathrooms, bedrooms. Then they have a Play 5, usually used for bigger rooms such as garages, living rooms. And then they have the Play Bar. Then they have the subwoofer, and then they have I think that's it.
What's the cheapest one?
The Play 1 would be the cheapest because it's the smallest, and that runs $199.
Hmm.
They used to, when I first bought Sonos, they used to have a proprietary hub that controlled all the Sonos systems. Well, now you can run your Sonos system off of just wireless, so you don't need that $99 hub. See? Upgrades, I'm telling you. So, but if you're looking to buy a Play Bar, it's going to set you back about $699. You add the subwoofer, that's another $699. And then you add the two Play 1s to make it a full surround sound, 5.1. 1, 2, 3. Yes, 5.1.
The bar takes care of the front three, right?
Yes, right.
Yep.
The bar in theory, takes care of the left, right, center, and then subwoofer, and then back. So it'll set you back probably about $1,400 for a full system. But what you could do is you're going to unplug any of those speakers and move it to another room if you needed to. It's one of the pluses.
It's a very expensive home theater.
Just saying. All right, so now on to what I would suggest to buying someone
What's your
for the
wish
month
list
of April.
item?
This is not a wish list. I'm trying to help people brainstorm tech gifts for people
Like
in the
yourself.
month of April. Not like myself.
So you wouldn't want
I'm
any
a
of these?
giver. I'm a giver, not a taker. I can tell you that much. Giver, not a taker.
Okay. What would you give someone if their birthday were this month, Connolly?
It's going to sound weird. I'm not going to lie. But I would buy someone a
Is it going to be
backup.
like $1,300?
No, it's like $200. A
Oh,
backup
okay.
camera system.
I thought you said you hate your backup camera.
No, I love it. I hate it because it doesn't have lines and it doesn't really help you. But I forgot whose car I rode in. But their backup camera has parallel parking lines to help you back into your stall and whatnot if you suck at it, like myself. So I would suggest buying someone a backup camera, and just while you're at it, just upgrade the whole stereo system to touchscreen and whatnot. Make it a real car experience with your smartphone. Just throwing it out there.
Never.
That doesn't appeal to you at all?
Backup camera?
Yeah.
I'd love a backup camera in my car because I can't see. My trunk's weird, so I don't know how far I am. But
Right. You don't know if you're going to hit a kid.
well, my problem is I have no good way of installing it because I can't change out my radio because it's built in.
Yeah.
So I'd have to.
Get a new system.
What do you mean get a new system?
Take it all out and put a new
I'd have-
system in there.
I can't. I have to,
You can do whatever you want. All you got to do is take a saw and you can make magic happen in the car.
Maybe I can get one of those ones in the rearview mirror.
Oh, those
that
suck.
has a-
Don't get those. Not worth it. It's too
Okay.
distracting. Greg, would you use a backup camera? I know you have a little smoky. Probably don't need one.
I somehow think that we wouldn't be able to find a way to hook it up in that old car, but maybe in the Subaru. How about that?
Do you have any interest in a backup camera?
I do. I kind of like them. I've been in a few rentals or other people's cars or whatever where they had them, and I thought they were pretty cool.
I like it. It's just convenient. It's just another mirror. When I first got it, my wife was like, "Why would I use this? I'm not going to stare at it the whole time." I go, "You just treat it like another mirror. You got your side mirrors, you got your rear view mirror, and then you got your camera." And that's how I use it. I don't stare at it to reverse. I still use my mirrors, but it's just an additional tool.
Yeah, I think that's precisely how it was designed.
Is yours wide enough? Like, is your lens wide enough that you can tell if you're going to hit something on a side? Or do you still...
It just goes bumper to bumper.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there you go.
Yeah.
All right, next week I reveal the last one, the best birthday present anyone could get for the month of April or next month, whatever. Tune in next week, April 24th. All right.
Number one gift.
The number one gift. All right, let's do some crowdfunding, shall we?
Let's.
I got to push the button.
So fellas, baby got back. Baby got back.
So this time we go to the world of Kickstarter. I think I already know the answer, but I'm just going to do it anyways. Why not? This product is called the Captivo. It makes any whiteboard brilliant. Check it out.
Every day, millions of people all around the world use dry erase whiteboards. They're simple, cheap, and used pretty much everywhere. In our places of work, in our schools, universities, even in our homes. However, when I've used a whiteboard, I've been frustrated. Some of the things I'd like to do,
Frustrated.
they're not as easy as they should be in today's connected world. Wouldn't it be great if we could make a regular whiteboard smarter? That is why we designed Captivo. Captivo is a brand new accessory that transforms any regular whiteboard into an online collaboration system. Installing Captivo above your whiteboard is as easy as hanging a picture frame. Here's Ed installing one of our Captivo prototypes.
Yep.
It took him less than 3 minutes.
What?
Using Captivo
Drilling
is
into-
easy. Just work with
So
your
you end up with a
whiteboard,
crooked
any
camera if
pen,
you take less than
any
3
colour,
minutes.
any number of people collaborating. As you work, everything you write is captured automatically. There's no need to take notes or pictures of the board anymore. Captivo gives you clean, sharp images ready to share or stream wirelessly in real time. At the heart of Captivo is our patented image processing technology. It transforms images taken by Captivo's integrated camera, perfectly removing camera distortion, people in front of the board, even background objects such as shadows, reflections. And what you're left with is a perfect, real-time image of the whiteboard. The Captivo companion app lets you share the whiteboard securely via your mobile device or web browser. Want
Mobile.
to see how the whiteboard evolved during a meeting? Simply use the playback feature to rewind to the point you want. Interactive smartboards cost upwards of $1,500. Captivo is a fraction of the cost, and of course there's no need to replace the whiteboards you already have. Just add a Captivo. We're now
Take 3
looking
minutes
to
to
raise
install.
$75,000.
So there you
Take
go.
Captivo to
Captivo makes any whiteboard smart. So it makes any whiteboard smart. I don't know what else you can say. Thoughts, comments, concerns. Okay, don't think of this like it's for you, Matt. Think of it in the application. Go ahead, Greg.
All right. I think it's, I mean, it doesn't have a long life because we're in this place where whiteboards are right at the edge.
Right.
Many of them being taken down in offices around the United States and the world and replaced with something else, just interactive iPad or whatever people happen to be using. But we're not quite around the corner, so it's an interesting thing because there really are tons of whiteboards in all kinds of conference rooms, including ones that we're very familiar with.
That's right.
And if it's affordable, it might be an interesting bridge to the complete overhaul that's going to be necessary to be able to share information back and forth. I think I think it's interesting. I'm not 100% sure I'm in yet, but I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's pretty interesting. What I failed to see when I first started watching, when they said interactive, I thought it would have been cool if someone on the other end who was watching would be able to draw alongside you, and then somehow that mechanism put it on the whiteboard itself. I don't know how probably like a projection-like thing.
Yeah.
So when I heard interactive whiteboard, I figured it was a two-way thing versus just a one-way thing, and the person on the other end only being able to watch and whatnot. So
yeah, I think the technology that you're hoping for is the one that we're probably trying to jump to. We're just not quite there yet.
Right. Apparently, this thing works for any size whiteboard up to 6 feet by 4 feet. That's a pretty big whiteboard.
Yeah.
Matt?
Let's do pricing, and then I'll give you my answer.
Okay, I can't wait. So we are late to the party, so the early bird special at $99 is all gone. The super early bird at $139 is also all gone. So that leaves you with just the simply early bird special. And that is set for $159. So $159 will get you the mechanism for you to hang and be able to share on their cloud and be able to stream your meetings and your whiteboards to anyone who wants to participate. So, and that is half the cost of retail. So 50% of retail. So about $310, $20 is what retail price is going to be. So I'll start with Greg at $159. Are you going to back it or not?
I'm trying to put myself in the position of like an office manager who's trying to solve a problem for, a middle-sized group of people, and if I'm that person, I think I would give it a shot.
All right, we got one back. Would you like me to go next?
I'll go.
Okay, Matt's gonna.
This is another one of those things that worries me because it has to go through their server in order to work. They stop supporting it.
It's done.
I can't just use it as a camera, right?
Yeah, but that's every product you buy, though. But I don't quite agree with using that evaluation. But go ahead. Continue.
I think it would have been different if you would have made it a camera and a piece of software that could then work with Skype or work with a Google Hangout, and you could send that. But if it's this all-in-one integrated thing and they stop supporting it, I'm left with something that is useless.
It's only $159, though. Think about how productive your meetings could be if everyone could see the notes on the whiteboard.
And it's got such a short half-life before we finally get to something that's going to just blow it out of the water, and it's going to be affordable and and all that sort of thing, that they've got to try to sell them. So at least it's not overpriced.
Right.
Grossly, anyway. I don't.
Well, I think this early one isn't overpriced. I think actual retail is a little high for me.
Yeah, I think they're going to have a hard time selling very many of them because they got to sell them quickly.
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
All right. So I don't know if you remember, a couple months ago, I sent around a link to a true interactive whiteboard. It ran off the Android platform. It was a projection-like thing that you put on top of a whiteboard that turned the whiteboard into a giant touchscreen.
Mhm.
And so with that touchscreen, you could go onto a Google Doc. You could draw onto that Google Doc. You could write onto that Google Doc. And anyone with Google Access was able to edit and see that in real time. And so because this is not that, I am going to not back it.
Because this is not that.
But I've just seen a product that was a lot more better and down the road in the interactivity and using free services that you were worried about them not supporting, but using free Google, who's going to be here for a while, makes it long lasting. So,
Well, even the British accent didn't kick us over. A vote of 2-1 didn't get backed.
What are you going to do?
Well, not
That's
back
the rule
it.
with Kickstarter, but that's keep on keeping on. I can tell you that much.
Things go up, then things come down. Up in the air, then down to the ground.
All right, so get your arrows ready, man. I'm loaning you my arrow, which is right behind the
really
computer.
nervous because I thought
Because you thought you were doing it. I know. Matt's like, wait, this is my game. All right. So Greg's got his. He knows how to work the green arrow. Do you know how to work the red arrow? Nope. See, you've never done it. You don't know how. There you go. Matt's got the red arrow. All right. So we're going to stay in the world of crowdfunding. These are 5 Kickstarter projects, and you're going to tell me if the number I give you, they were able to raise more or less than. So green is more, red is less than. 5 different Kickstarters that are freaking crazy. Okay? The first one is called the 5 O'Clock Shadow. The creator and mastermind behind this campaign described the 5 O'Clock Shadow as a hand-knitted, functional beard face mask made with cotton poly lining and featuring 2 elastic straps that go around your head to keep it in place. The purpose? Anyone want to take a guess?
To keep your chin warm.
To keep your face warm. That was the purpose of starting this Kickstarter project. So, I have a picture, but my computer's loading. So over or under, raised $2,500. Over or under $2,500. Both of you say over, and both of you are correct. It raised $3,100. Its goal was
Wasn't by much, was it?
Its goal was $3,000, and it raised $3,100. So there you go. I got to show you the picture. For those of you who are listening to the audio podcast, go check out the video portion. I'm going to share my screen real quick, so you have to give me a second. But it's definitely worth the share to go check out the video portion. But
Wow.
that's the 5 O'Clock Shadow. It got funded $3,100. Its goal $3,000. But that's good.
Well,
you guys are tied. 1-1.
Sure, right. And that clearly is more like a week's or 2 weeks beard.
Yeah, exactly. Oh. Whose beard looks like that? That's terrible.
No,
All right,
no.
next one is called the Meat Soap. Much like the creators of this weird Kickstarter campaign, it's just freaking weird. It's soap that smells the aroma of freshly cooked bacon. That's what it is. And people use it to wash your hands. So it's soap like breakfast bacon that lingers on and on. Over under the amount of raised, $5,000. Matt says under, Greg says under. You guys are both correct. The goal was $1,500. It raised $1,900. So it met its goal, and it sent the meat soap off to many people who backed that Kickstarter.
Wow.
Yeah. Next one, Crystal Bacon. Here it is. It's exactly what I said. Speaking of meat, the Kickstarter project allows you to literally bring home and wear the bacon. Creator Greg Kieslow described Crystal Bacon as his sculptural tribute to the most delicious of all meats, bacon. But what exactly is it? The products are small, durable sculptures of bacon made out of clear acrylic plastic. You can use it. He made it for his wife and daughter, who use them as holiday ornaments and jewelry. So I guess you can make earrings and whatnot out of it. Over or under? $1,500. Both of you say under. The correct answer is over. It raised $2,700.
Wow.
That's just wrong.
$2,700 for plastic shaped in like bacon. What are you going to do? All right, 2-2. Here we go. The next one is called The Poop, the game. It's a Kickstarter project. Yep, called Poop. And there was plenty of toilet humor involved. Poop is a card game similar to the popular game Uno and is designed so that both kids and adults can play and enjoy. It even comes with drinking game rules for those adults who want to spice it up a little. According to the Kickstarter page, kids love it because I haven't even given you the number yet.
Doesn't matter what the number is.
Kids love it because of silly designs and the opportunity to make poop jokes. Adults love it because poop makes them act like kids. The campaign raised over or under $8,000. Over under $8,000. Matt says over. Greg says over. You're both correct. Anyone want to take a guess what it raised?
$10,000.
14.
$11,696. The goal, $4,500. $11,000 for a poop game. Sounds about right. All right, we're tied 3-3. Here we go. The last one is called the ostrich pillow.
Oh, this is awesome.
Yes, it is.
It goes over your head, right? And then
Yes.
you can put your hands in it and sleep
You
like
put
an
your hands in
ostrich.
it, exactly.
Yeah.
Your head goes in it, your hands go in it, and you put your head on the table. Everything is great. It's perfect for spring breaks, perfect for studying for finals, perfect for sitting in Connolly's lectures.
It'd be great for an airplane.
Over under $50,000.
Whoa.
Greg says over, or Matt says over. Greg says under. The winner of the game is Matt. It is over by a lot.
Mm.
How much did the ostrich pillow bring in?
$100,000.
Okay. Matt says 100,000. Greg?
60.
60. The goal was 70,000. It smashed the goal. $195,000 for the ostrich pillow. There you go. Matt's the winner, 4-3.
Things go up, then things come down. Up in the air, then down to the ground.
Crazy stuff on the world of Kickstarter. The ostrich pillow.
I just don't understand how the whole breathing thing happens effectively with that on.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how do people not suffocate themselves?
It helps you fall asleep.
Y'all say.
Because you're passed out.
Now it's time for the best part of the show.
Love the show. New segment, love it.
Red Solo Cup, I fill you up. Let's have a party. Let's have a party. I love you, Red Solo Cup.
Ooh.
I love this segment.
It's the simplicity of it that's so attractive, isn't it?
The red cup. All right. Greg,
Yeah.
what's in your cup tonight?
One of these days, I'll treat myself right and invest in the show and get myself an actual prop of a red cup.
One day. It's fine.
One day, it'll happen.
The day that we get sponsors, we'll buy you a red cup.
Yeah. Well, like I said, what is in my cup tonight?
So Greg has taken us down the tequila road.
I
Greg
have.
has taken us down the gin road.
Yeah, I certainly have.
And
Yeah.
tonight, Greg's going to take us down what road?
Tonight we're drinking beer.
Nice. Beer. Solid beer. What type of beer? Brand? And what does it taste like?
I am working an Alaskan Amber.
Okay. All right.
Alaskan Amber. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to say, what kind of beer are amber beers? Are they dark beers? Are they light beers? Are they
They're
hop beers? What kind of beers are they?
Ambers tend to be super drinkable, a lot like a brown ale, and they're super soft. They're not particularly hoppy at all. They're more malty and caramelly and that kind of thing. Pretty easy drinking, and not super heavy all the time either.
So what would go well with this amber beer? When is a perfect time to drink this Alaska? And why are you laughing? Matt's laughing at it. I want to know when the perfect time to drink this beer. Because, I mean, it's not like an every night drink, right? Like Bud Light. That's like when you're broke or it's 2 o'clock in the morning. There's nothing left in the refrigerator. You pop open the Bud Light, right? That's what I have in my head. I'm sure people love Bud Light, and there goes that sponsorship with Anheuser-Busch. But
we were right there.
You were so close. What's the perfect time to drink this beer?
Well, I guess for me, I lean a little bit more toward this being more of a go-to. So it would be in my fridge as much or more often than probably most other beers, or maybe any other beers.
Okay.
But a part of that, I think, is that Alaskan Amber tends to go on sale. And so it's the one that drops down, to $6.99 a six-pack or something like that. I know that's not the Bud Light budget we were looking for, but that's pretty good for craft beer.
Yeah.
And this is kind of that tweener. It's already kind of into such the mainstream that it's kind of more than craft beer, but it started that way. But I think it's good barbecue beer. It's good warm weather outside beer, and that's what I was doing today.
Greg, have you ever had Newcastle beer?
Love the stuff, yeah. That's a brown ale.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had a brown ale until last night.
And we drank a mini keg of it.
Let me just say, my head was sore this morning. No, it wasn't actually. But it was just hard to roll out of bed.
Yeah.
Hey, all right. Well, thanks, Greg.
Red Solo Cup, I fill you up. Let's have a party. Let's have a party. I love Solo Cup.
And that's what you can do with the bottle of beer.
That's right.
All right. Should we head down the Rants and Raves road?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, final segment of the night. We like to call up our Rants and Raves. Sometimes it's about tech, sometimes it is not. Matt, would you like to take us down this road first?
I'll go last.
Okay, Matt will go last. Greg?
Last. You want me to go? All right, yeah, I'll go. I think there's a pretty good chance that this might be a little bit surprising to both of you.
That you have something? Or...
No, well, okay, that's part of it, maybe, but that wasn't what I was shooting at. My rave goes out to Verizon Wireless.
Holy cow. Stop the presses. Stop the presses.
So shut up, nobody hear it. Get out of my way.
All right, I can't lose another sponsor. Tell us why.
Potential sponsor. Mm-hmm.
An equal opportunity, I can tell you that much.
No, I get it. All right. I just recently, and we talked about it 3 shows ago or something, I switched carriers, which can always be a little painful. It's a little messy. You've got to take care of charges and transferring and all kinds of stuff when you stop service on one and move to another, and you get penalized by the one you're leaving.
It's a complete mess is what it is.
It is an absolute mess. And so I went and did all that, and it got a little messy. I had to go back to Verizon 4 times. Today I went back for the 4th time to try to receive in my hand what's known as the final bill, the thing that the other carrier has to have with an itemized declaration of all of the things you owe on your final bill so that they can make this glorious transfer and pay for various parts, and buy you out, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had a little something that was causing a problem in there. It was a phone that they didn't actually shut off, and so it was lingering on my Verizon, which was my previous carrier's bill. So it messed it up to the point that they couldn't seem to get me the paperwork necessary. So I was, in this circle driving around near my home where both of these outlets are, trying to take care of this whole thing. And every time I went to Verizon and had to deal with them, they got it. They, instead of being pissy about it or what I might have expected, for the most part, they were absolutely just straight up trying to do exactly what needed to be done because they know that it's part of the game and you may well just be back about as soon as you went away. So anyway, their customer service, and I told them so, was absolutely excellent. And I did not expect that at all.
Wow.
Put a feather in their cap.
Yeah, I love me some good customer service, and I don't care what we're talking about, whether it's food or phones or whatever it happens to be. But just flat out good customer service is hard to come by. And I would not, as I said, have expected that of a bunch of very young managers who probably don't have just not a lot of world experience out there to sort of understand that it's not this real pissy game.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have to be. They didn't make it one, and Sprint was just as good on the other end. So I was stand back shocked. As difficult as that was, it was great.
It's awesome.
Did you end up being successful in getting the documentation you needed?
No, probably not. You have to go back a ninth time.
No, I got what documentation, given the circumstances, that I can get, and it was just a little left of center of what Sprint wanted. But it was because that other phone lingered on the bill and everything else was canceled out that it just was. It's not like it's that Verizon's workflow has it so that their computers printed out a certain way after all those things have been canceled.
Mm.
And without getting into the stupid details of it, it was just that I got what I could get from them, and we submitted it, and it looks like it's probably going to go through. But my next step wouldn't have anything to do with the local store. It'd have to be Verizon corporate or something like that, and just say, look, this is going to happen to people. They're going to shut off almost everything, but not everything. You still got to make it possible for them to get out.
It's like Time Warner.
Yeah.
God bless Time Warner.
Yeah. I really have good things to say about the carriers, but today I do.
Finale.
My turn. I'm going to go down the road of raving as well. And I don't normally rave about people, and this isn't to kiss up
Oh, is
to...
it about me?
No, absolutely not. It would be the opposite if that was the case.
Oh,
This is not to kiss up to the people that I'm about to rave about.
it's about me then.
Right. Well, you guys are 0 for 2. You guys want another guess? So last weekend, my wonderful in-laws came to town, and instead of just relaxing in the living room, kicking up their feet, spending time with the grandkids that they can't see, they brought over a tractor and a trailer, and we dug up our backyard. We filled it with gravel, and we used to have a mud pit back there. We brought in some topsoil, and we leveled our entire backyard to make way for hydro seed grass that's going to come in about a couple weeks, and so my backyard will be completely grass instead of grass patches with a bunch of mud stuff all over. So I didn't have to break my back, essentially, to get my backyard to kid safety, kid approval, kid fun type backyard. So I'm raving about my awesome in-laws who came over last week with a freaking tractor. They literally drove a tractor from Seattle to Pullman, 6 hours, to help us do that project.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think it was...
And they didn't charge me, so even better.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit veiled in your posts on, like, Facebook. The only thing I was seeing was we're out here working like crazy. All I see is a wheelbarrow, and they're full of stuff and all this work that's being done. And I hear somebody's back there with a backhoe just firing up the diesel and getting the job done for you while you sat back and had a Mai Tai is what it sounds like.
I had to document it. If there was no one to document the work that was happening, then no one would be able to appreciate how far the backyard has come. So I was doing my job in documenting what was happening.
So you're the PR.
And that's a heck of a lot better probably than you operating the machinery is
That's
my
what
guess.
I'm saying. I mean, I didn't want to operate the machinery and take out my whole fence and then have another big project to take on. So I will say my father-in-law with his tractor, though, did kind of uproot a sprinkler system a little bit.
Yeah, that
But
doesn't
it's
take
okay.
very
It's
long.
better than taking down the fence. So
And it's
I'm okay
not
with
yours, right?
What?
The sprinkler
It was my sprinkler system.
You have a sprinkler system.
Yes, I have
Yeah.
a sprinkler system. Everyone in Pullman has a sprinkler system. Whether they work or not, it's a different story, but everyone has one.
Okay.
Do you know what a sprinkler
I
system
know.
is?
If you didn't have grass, what was it watering?
Patches of grass. You missed the first part. It was patches with mud. Now it's just going to be grass.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Your lawn finally grew into your sprinkler system.
Exactly.
That's what
Greg nailed it on the
usually
head.
it goes grass and then sprinkler, not sprinkler and then grass. But maybe
Whatever.
you know.
I'm Hawaiian. I do things differently.
The house just came that way when you bought it. I don't think it had anything to do with Hawaiian.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
They wanted to save money on their water bill, so they didn't really water the back or the front. I can tell you that much. All right.
It's all changed.
There's my rave.
Yeah. But Matt, do you have something?
I have a rant.
Oh gosh, bringing down the show.
My rant's for Google. Google Play Music.
Oh.
I'm gonna stand up for Google. Whatever you say, I'm gonna stand up for Google.
So I did
Unless I agree with it, but I probably won't.
I did a
But go ahead.
1 month trial of YouTube Red.
30 days.
30 days.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic.
Great.
And I really want YouTube Red.
They lured you in through the YouTube.
But I don't want to pay $10 a month for YouTube Red. But I was willing to pay for Google Play Music, get rid of my Spotify account, because Google Play Music gives you free YouTube Red. My girlfriend and I share a Spotify family account, and since I figured why wouldn't we just share a Google Play Music account? But you cannot create a Google Play Music family account if you do not have an Android device. You have to sign up on an Android device. You can then manage it from your browser or an iOS device, but you cannot enable your family plan on anything but Android. So I did not do it.
It's okay. They don't want your $10 anyways. I don't see the difference between that and iTunes or Apple Music. Whatever the heck the Apple service is, you probably can't activate it on an Android phone. You probably can only activate it on your iOS phone. So it's the same concept. So you going off on Google, up on your little high horse of how it should happen across all devices, well, guess what? It doesn't.
So are you saying that now Google... No, you
Yes,
can sign
that's
up.
exactly what
you
I'm
can
saying.
Sign up for
The
Apple,
Google.
You can sign up for Apple Music on a browser.
Oh, someone's Skyping.
I like it that the horse is both little and high that you're on.
Little high horse. High little horse. Whatever horse you want to be on. Get off of it.
I don't get it. I thought Google was this all-inclusive group that was willing to let anyone in.
Who wants to use an Android device?
Apparently not.
They don't want to. They don't want open doors to iOS.
But I can sign up.
iOS doesn't do that.
But I can sign
Why
up.
does Google have to do it?
Why can
I don't get it.
Why can I sign up for regular Google Play Music? I can
Because
do
it's
that
free.
just fine. No, I can sign up for the paid service. I can sign up for YouTube Red on my phone.
I'm sure you're just doing it wrong.
No, Google's legitimate answer was you cannot sign up for family on anything but an Android device. So now they don't get my money.
You can keep your $10.
It's $15
You can keep your $15
a month.
Whatever it is, you keep it. We don't want it. You
We
stay in your iOS little world.
okay.
Are you? Well, yeah. Anyway, that's why 15's what you pay for the Apple Music family as well. I do that.
But you don't get YouTube Red.
No, I don't care.
Matt loves watching YouTube without the commercials.
I love
That's marvelous.
but I'm not willing to pay extra for it. Oh well.
Oh well.
Welcome to American culture. Yeah.
Let's put a bow on the show, Greg.
Why not? We're closing the book on another episode of the Bandwidth Boys podcast. Hey, thanks for joining us. If you missed us live, don't worry about that. You can download and listen to our podcast by using iTunes, Stitcher, or whatever your favorite podcast app is.
Bandwidth Boys Podcast. Facebook, Bandwidth Boys Podcast. Twitter, @GMK Podcast. Web, bandwidthboys.com. Bandwidth Boys Podcast.
All right, with that, I'm Greg.
I'm Matt.
I'm Connolly.
Going to talk to you next time. Same place, same time, same shenanigans as usual. We're right here on the Bandwidth Boys podcast. Keep on teching on.